Heavy is breaking tradition today by speaking with a tribute band. But before you all start lowering your horns in protest, please indulge me for a moment. We aren't just talking about any tribute band here. We're talking about a real tribute band, not one made up of part-time or frustrated musicians. In fact, it's the world's biggest System of a Down tribute act and the UK's all-star tribute band, Chop Suey. And if anyone has a right to tour the world playing another band's music, it's these guys, who are all moonlighting in lesser-known bands such as Dragonforce, Breed 77, Annie Nowhere League, and Confyde. So firstly, guys, introduce yourselves and tell us briefly your role in Chop Suey.
Hi, I'm Martin, and I sing in Chop Suey.
Hey guys, I'm Joyzi, and I play the drums in Chop Suey.
I'm Sam, and I pretend to be the bass player in Chop Suey.
And I'm Tom. I play guitar in Chop Suey.
Beautiful, guys. Judging by your accents there, we got people from all around the world, mate. So thanks for joining us. So Chop Suey are about to set off on the grassroots tour of the UK, starting in, I'll probably get the pronunciation of these names wrong because I can't even speak English, but starting in Bournemouth on March the 16th and finishing in Edinburgh on May the 6th. So my math's pretty shit, guys, but I count 29 dates in there. So it's not a small tour to be going on.
No, it's pretty intensive. Going all over the place in the UK. The last tour we did, we were playing mostly bigger venues, places like Rock City and O2 Academies, places like that. So this time around for this next tour, we thought it was really important to bring that big show to the smaller venues and the smaller towns out, further out, rather than always concentrating on the big cities, because it's really important. Those communities get to hear the music as well. But also that's the lifeblood of the music scene. We all started off playing these smaller venues, and I think it's really important that we cover that ground as well. I was about to say, instead of just playing the big cities all the time. And we'll also be opening up the show with Killswitch UK, playing some Killswitch Engage songs as well. So that should be a really cool party. And there's obviously a different vibe when you're playing a smaller room. It's a different kind of energy when everyone's going mental in this small space. It's a completely different thing. So we love doing that just as much as the bigger shows. So
very cool. And then later on in the year, you've got the European tour, which starts in Germany on October 1st and goes through Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and France before finishing in the Netherlands on October 22nd. So that one seems a bit more manageable, guys. That's about 3 weeks by my reckoning. A lot easier.
Yeah, it's about 3 weeks, but it's a full-on 6 shows a week. And we've just had Belgium and Greece confirmed as well. The tour isn't fully announced yet. It's going to be our first. We've done one-off shows in Europe, and it's been great. We've done Netherlands, Croatia, Serbia, and it's been amazing. This is our first full-scale Europe tour, and it'll be the first of many because we're already planning some for next year. So let's see how that goes, but it should be fun.
All right.
Good, yeah. And then in between all those two, you've got the Forever New tour in September with UK shows at the more bigger venues in major cities. So you're covering the territory.
Yeah. Basically, the Forever New tour is we started it last year, and what we do is 2 of our bands, so Chop Suey plus one of our opening acts, which we do normally. It's either Machine Head or Killswitch Engage, and we invite other of the big tributes in the UK. Last year we had a few. This year we're going to have a tribute to Korn, a tribute to Marilyn Manson, and Evanescence, as well as our Machine Head and our System of a Down. And we're doing the bigger venues, and it's our own festival, so it's great. It works around our availability, and it's just something really cool to do. A lot of fun, and we're doing that just before the Europe tour.
Yeah, cool. I'm just going to throw this one in off the cuff to you guys, because Australia hasn't really got. We don't sort of embrace tribute bands. Sounds like you guys have got full festivals over there for tribute bands, and you've got a lot of different ones going around, which people on this side of the world probably find it hard to relate to. Like, we've got the odd one here and there, but it's not as big as over here. So I'm guessing in Europe it's quite a big market.
It started exploding, I would say, probably about 3-4 years ago. I mean, it's always been a thing. Tribute bands have always been around, but I think also maybe with the internet and how times have changed as well. Nowadays you have people getting famous on TikTok for lip syncing. I guess people are a bit less fussy and they just want to go out and have a fun night out. And there's no more stigma against tribute bands. I guess that's dying.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a market that's emerging and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And at this point in time, there's hundreds of tribute festivals in Europe, all of them for thousands of people.
Wow.
So yeah, it is a great market.
Wow, that's cool. So for those unfamiliar with Chop Suey, tell us a bit about your live show and what to expect.
just a real high energy show, a proper party, basically. Just full bore, making sure everyone's having a good time, you know, interacting with the crowd, doing all that cool stuff like opening up the wall of death and getting people to bounce and sing along. And as I say, it's meant to be just one great big party, and a real sort of ebb and flow of all the different kind of music that System of a Down does. So it's yeah, just want everyone to have a really good time, and we love doing it too. So it's just to say, really high ball of energy from start to finish, really.
So how faithful is the show to actually what you would see at a proper System of a Down show? Like, do you mimic their movements? Do you just get right into it like that, or do you just put your own personality in there a little bit?
I think it's mostly our own show, to be honest. Like I remember seeing System of a Down when I was young and they were young, like 2004, around that, and it was an incredible show. You know, it was the energy they had matched the songs, and it was just a full energy show, and it was amazing. Sadly, I don't think System of a Down delivered the same energy anymore. I don't know, for whatever reason. It seems that, you know, that the energy side of it seems to have been neglected by the real band itself. But we're younger, and we like the music, and we like playing live, and we enjoy live. We get drunk and we have fun, and people can see that, and you can feel that on stage. And also, you know, obviously when I work with Dragonforce and sampling with Dragonforce, we have better ideas for production and for a show, for proper entertaining show, and that's where Sam came in as well, and it helped a lot. So I think it's nothing to do with the real System of a Down show. We really do our own thing. We play the songs our own way. It's you know, Martin's an incredible singer, and he stays loyal as much as possible to System of a Down. But what we do is do it our own way, which is a bit more metal, to be honest.
Metal or mental?
The two in one.
Very cool. So System of a Down have had some pretty big hits over the years. So how do you guys select what makes the cut for the set list? Do you just go on personal favorites? Do you just have votes online? Like, how do you do it?
It's very hard to choose because System of a Down have such an insanely good catalog. Like, every song is amazing, and I think we obviously have to pick all those big hits. You know, Chop Suey, obviously, Toxicity, Sugar, all those really big ones that you've got to hear. But then also there's songs that we think are going to be really good party songs. They're going to get people bouncing and lively and really having a great time. That are really danceable, things like Radio Video and such. But then there's also really big epic tracks, and also songs that System themselves have not really played live, or have only played partially. So, you know, there's an opportunity there for fans of System of a Down to hear those songs that System haven't actually played themselves. Some more deeper cuts, and like there are some songs that where you will start it off and people are, oh my god, it's this one. So yeah, it's a hard choice to pick out the songs in just like an hour and a half, however long we play for. But we feel like so far it's worked.
I was going to say, like, a good idea might be just to sort of go on and read some feedback from fans at their shows, and like all the ones that are saying, fuck, they didn't play this song, they can get fucked. Like, just gather all the ones that people are complaining the real band didn't play, and you guys chuck them in your set list.
Yeah, good idea.
Have you ever had any actual feedback, positive or negative, from any of the actual members of System of a Down?
Closest I can possibly answer that question is we have a stand-in guitar player called Teresa, and she covered quite a few shows on the last tour, and she posted some live footage of us on her Instagram, and Chavo from System of a Down liked it.
Oh, cool.
Actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You didn't like me, though. I am him.
I suppose the question from there would be like, would you actually even give a fuck if one of them did complain about it? Like, would you just say cop it sweet, or would you take that to heart?
I don't think there's any reason
quite
to
funny.
complain.
Well, they should be happy that we're playing their music so well.
Privilege.
Yeah.
Your first answer, Sam, and it was diplomatic. How did you do that?
What was that?
That was your first answer. And it was diplomatic. How did you do it?
Not drunk yet, am I?
Okay, cool.
I'm behaving tomorrow.
All right, so
Yeah, no, that's all good.
Bit of history here, guys. Like Andre, I believe you're the one who started Chop Suey back in 2015. So back then, what made you decide to start a tribute band?
Well, to be honest, I've been playing in covers bands since I was 19. I've never had any problems with playing covers. It's a lot of fun, and that's how I've learned to play music. Really, instead of being stuck with one style, one genre, the guys who used to be the bosses of the bands they'd have me play anything from, Green Day to AC/DC to Metallica, Sepultura, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I've always been in covers bands, and it's always been in the back of my head, like one day we're going to do something cool. And in around 2015, I was running a rock venue in London, and I was having some tributes. I started booking some tributes, and I realized I couldn't find a System of a Down tribute. System of a Down being one of my favorite bands as well as when I was young. And at some point when I saw the tribute market starting to become a little bit more relevant, I thought, okay, let's start a tribute band, and let's do one that it's not as easy to do as Metallica, for instance, I had met Martin at the same venue as well a few years before, and that's actually a pretty funny story. His band Emperor Chung was sound checking upstairs. It was a 2-floor venue, and I walked in the afternoon, and I could hear this incredible voice upstairs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I walked up, I stopped the sound check. I walked in and I said, stop. And I looked at Martin. This is the first time he's meeting me, okay? And I looked at Martin and I said, my friend, you are incredibly average. And then we swapped contact, and I said, one day I'm going to give you a call. And then 3 years later, that was it.
Wow. So, so from the first time you heard him, then, like, you actually had him pegged in your head that he was going to be the one if you ever started a System band?
No, not for System of a Down. No. That just for anything. I thought this guy is an incredible talent, and if I ever start a band that requires any sort of clean singing, he will be the first guy to get a phone call. And it just happened that there was System of a Down. It could have been an originals band. It could have been anything.
Right.
But the first opportunity I had to work with him was System of a Down, and it was a perfect choice.
Oh. So Martin, when he approached you to do the System of a Down thing, like, had you done any singing to their songs before, or like did you have to convince yourself, I guess, that you could do it?
I've also been a System fan for a very long time. And when I was a kid, I would like just sing them just for fun before I was even close to being like a professional vocalist, right? But working on System of a Down songs is just like working on any other song. Just get practicing, get it right. And I sing them in my voice. I don't try to sound like Serge or Darren. I think it's better to just sing the songs your way and sing them really well than try and do a sort of ham-fisted impression, if that makes sense. Yeah. As Joyzi said earlier, this is very much our show. We're not trying to like imitate System of a Down and everything they do. So and I'd like to think they try and do just a cool performance that is honest with myself and does justice to the songs.
Right. So that's actually more your natural singing voice when you're doing the show, because I've heard it and you sound a lot like you, like shitload like you. That's your natural voice. You're not trying to do that.
Not really, no. I mean, maybe a couple of some of like the quirks and things particularly of Serge's voice might creep into what I do. There's certainly an influence of him in what I do, especially when singing these songs. But the bass line is my natural singing voice, and then maybe a few quirks poke out here and there, as it were. Like I definitely like try and sing in the style that he does, and like if he's singing something clean or if he's singing something with a bit more grit or some with a bit more quirky like stuff that he does. But again, it's my voice. I'm not trying to like sound like he does, because that's impossible. Right?
True. And Serge has had a pretty successful solo career too, man. So if these guys ever give you the shits, you can just piss off and do your own solo Serge tribute show.
That's why I've got the suit, right? Okay.
That's his plan. Even now, he's already planning it. Yeah, as soon as
yeah, I probably just dobbed him in, haven't I? Sorry, Martin, I've just let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Bye. No.
So, over the years, mate, like you've had Ben Christo from Sisters of Mercy and Richard Shaw from Cradle of Filth pass through the band. So when you say it's an all-star tribute band, like you really mean it. There's been some decent stuff in there over the years.
Yeah, I think it's half coincidence, because it's just the people we know, and I think for a band like this, I've always had in mind that there would be more than just your covers band that stays in one country or just in a few cities or that. So for me, there was always the idea of doing something a bit greater than that and touring and all that. So as a principle, you need full-time musicians. So when you're going to look into the full-time musicians that you know, it's always going to end up being people who already do it in other bands and so on, like just like Sam, Tom, and Martin, and Rich and Ben. So that's pretty much how it came about. People who are keen and serious, and again that do it full time. So yeah.
Very cool. All right, so I want to direct these next few questions at each of you individually. So firstly, Andre, tell us a bit more about yourself and what you bring to Chop Suey.
Well, again, I play the drums. I would like to think I'm pretty decent as a rhythmic drummer, and I think that's quite important to play System of a Down. You need a good rhythmic drummer, and you need a great singer to be able to at least get close to what they do and deliver something like that. Apart from that, I'm the band manager. I'm really into music business, and it's a very exciting experience getting Chop Suey to play in Australia, New Zealand, Croatia, and places like that. It's just it feels incredible. So I'm very excited also and enthusiastic about the expansion of Chop Suey. So that's what I bring into the band.
Cool. And as you say, mate, like you've drummed yourself for Breed 77. You're currently in the Violent Incident. You also act as drum tech for everyone from Dragonforce's G and Zaloni to Joe Jordison. So for you, what's the appeal of playing another band's music?
I don't think of it that way. I think of it as like I'm surrounded by people who are my peers. We have a lot of fun out. I don't know if you can tell, but we're always making fun of each other. Like being on tour with these guys, it's a lot of fun. We have a great group of people, and to me, it's more about that. I don't care if I'm playing other people's songs or my own songs. There's nothing I like more than playing drums live metal music. So who wrote the songs is irrelevant to me almost. And yeah, it's just being surrounded by my peers. We have a great group of people. We have a team that's incredible. Rich O'Donnell is not here, but he's also amazing. And yeah, that's what it's all about for me. It's being surrounded by cool people, getting drunk, getting laid, or trying to play, and playing music and travel the world doing what you love. It's awesome.
Very cool. All right, Martin. So tell us a bit about yourself, mate, and what you bring to Chop Suey.
Well, I've been singing basically all my life. I didn't start off very good, but I got good. I like to think. I've been a full-time singer for 7 years, 8 years. And yeah, I just love singing, and I love System of a Down. I like to think I bring quite a lot of stage presence. I love interacting with people. I love getting people riled up, sharing in that experience together. And I think, when you want a big ball of energy type show that I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of duty, especially on the front person, to lead that charge, as it were. And I love doing that. Like that is just that's my happy place. And yeah, I could sing these songs all day long. We've been doing this for 8 years, and I can't see myself ever getting bored of it. And it's yeah, it's just an absolute ball.
Yeah, and it's important to mention that Martin doesn't even care about getting laid.
Well, you can tell that by his dress sense.
He does it for the music. He does it because he loves music.
If he was smiling after that last question, now you've made him put a frown on. So sticking with you, Martin, and like you also front Confyde. So what do you get out of singing with Chop Suey that you might not get out of singing your own originals?
Obviously I love doing original music. Like there's nothing quite like that, when it's your own art and your own expression, right? But when you go out and you play with an originals band, you've got to, everyone's going out there, doing shows to win over people and build a fan base, right? But when you're playing originals music, you're kind of doing two things. You've got to win people over with good performance. You've got to sound good, look good, but you've also got to win people over with your songs, right? And the songs might not be to many people's taste. When it comes to a tribute band, you don't need to win people over with songs because they already know them. Everyone that's come to the show already knows all the songs. And so that side of things is not something you even need to worry about. As much as I love that process with original music, with a tribute band, you can just focus on delivering the performance, the great show. Like, you can put the microphone, everyone knows the words. It's like System of a Down have done that work for us, like, I suppose. But so yeah, there's something that I get out Chop Suey that is much more of a challenge with Confyde, for example. That's just because we're playing original music and we're just a smaller band. But it's that's the main difference, I'd say. And yeah, it's just awesome.
Sure. I think, like, for me, the one thing that's coming across about you guys that's really awesome is your honesty for a start. Like, most other people I've spoken to in tribute bands, they've all said pretty much the same thing. Like, we're only doing it so our original band gets noticed, and, you know, like, they use it as a cop out. But you guys, you sound like you do it because you actually enjoy doing it, which, like I say, it's refreshing to hear someone do it for that reason rather than some other reason that either they're ashamed to be in a tribute band or their original band shit, no one watches, whatever it is, but they all try to hide behind some other reason. But you guys are open and honest about the fact that you do it because you like it and you don't give a fuck about what other people think. It's good. That's the only compliment I'm going to give you for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
All right.
You okay?
All right. Well, this one's going to be fun. Sam, tell us a bit about yourself and what you bring to Chop Suey.
Well, I bring the good looks, the youth, the Billy Sheehan ability of bass playing. I mean, you name it, really. I mean, they might as well give up. If I leave, it's over. So yeah,
Like I said, honesty
celebrity factor, of course. I could go on all day if you want.
No, we'll cut you short.
To be honest, I like to think that I play the bass reasonably well. I mean, it's quite a lot easier than guitar, obviously. So that covers that part of it. But yeah, no, it's good. I enjoy it, like you said just now. I thought, I mean, the funny thing is like Andre was saying earlier on, there's less of a kind of stigma about tribute bands and stuff now. I know personally, if someone had said to me, do you want to do this like 15 years ago, I would have said, oh, fuck off. That's not cool. You know, why would I want to do that? I've got a normal band that's doing quite well anyway. But like you said, now it's like there is no kind of mysterious rock. I mean, I never considered myself some kind of rock star or anything anyway. But if you want to look at that side of things, like there is no kind of people that are mysterious and cool anymore. You know, you can go on bloody Facebook and see what James Hetfield's eating for lunch or whatever. You know, there's no one, you know, no one's cool anymore. So you might as well just do what makes you happy. And yeah, I think like doing this, it's great. It's good fun. I mean, for me personally, there's a lot less stress than doing a Dragonforce show because one, playing the bass is not as difficult as guitar. And two, we haven't got all that, you know, there's no like wirelesses and in-ear monitors and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, we normally need all that kind of thing. But with this, because the music's a bit more simple, I find it's really relaxing and I get to enjoy music kind of how I did when I first started playing, you know, when we were in bands when you was like 16 and that. And now like Andre was saying, it's just kind of fun to be out with a different bunch of people. Like I enjoy that. I think playing in the tribute stuff, it's cool because like Martin was saying, you've already got the audience on your side because they already know the songs, and you don't have that kind of thing like when you're doing your originals band, you're like, oh, is anyone going to turn up tonight? Oh, that sucks. And then you're disappointed if no one does. But like with this, it's great. If no one turns up, you're like, well, it's not my fault. They just don't like System of a Down in this town. So you don't have to feel like a dick. So it's a win-win all around, basically.
So for anyone out there who couldn't understand your accent and didn't have a clue what you said then, like you're one half of the world's best guitar duos with Herman Lee and Dragonforce, mate. So you sort of did answer this a little bit then, mate, but what the heck are you doing playing bass in a System of a Down tribute band when you've got that as your day job?
I mean, honestly, it's like I get bored sitting at home too much of the year. So, and when Andre asked if I wanted to do it, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing anything this weekend. Might as well go and get drunk somewhere else, play some songs with some different people. And I still feel like it's like that. Yeah. I mean, it's just something to do instead of sitting around on your ass doing nothing. I'd rather go out and play some music and have a laugh and meet some people and yeah, it's just fun, you know. That's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Tom. Well, the reason I've left you to last, mate, is because I don't know you yet. So I'm not even
That's all right.
last. But hi, I'm Kris.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good, bro. So tell us a bit more about yourself, bro, and what you bring to Chop Suey.
So I'm the guitarist. I'd like to think that I bring a bit of the, I don't know, foot on the monitor, guitar in the air, cock out, balls to the wall kind of attitude. Yeah, just same as the other guys, really. Just trying to bring the party vibe. Just trying to give everyone as good a show as possible, really. Yeah, that's my deal.
Very
Yeah,
cool. That's enough.
waited half an hour to tell us that. Could have just tried to say that at the start and told him to piss off.
And you also play guitar with Anti Nowhere League, bro. So what sorts of things do you get out of Chop Suey that you might not get out of playing with Anti Nowhere?
That's quite a good question, really, because with the league, I was in the league for 6 years before I actually wrote anything of my own with them, so I'm pretty used to playing other people's music anyway. and yeah, so same as the other guys. Like, I grew up playing covers, playing in pubs and stuff, and then I started doing like wedding bands, even stuff like that. So yeah, playing with these guys, obviously, it's awesome to have this group of guys that they're way more pro. Like, I mean, the way Andre organizes everything, we actually we fuck around and we have a good drink and we have a good laugh, but it's like a fucking military unit. Everything is precise. We know what's going on. And I love working that way. So it's good to have that. Plus, obviously, we've got, all the production side of things. We've got effects that I've never worked with before, which is exhilarating to have on stage when you think your beard might catch fire, shit like that. So yeah, and to be honest, generally this band gets a lot more attractive women watching us than the Anti-Nowhere League does, so it's sweet.
Yeah, well, actually, that was what I was going to say. The same thing. We played in
but it's important,
Serbia the other day.
important.
There's more birds at one Chop Suey gig than there was in a whole. So,
Yeah, they never get past Martin or Joyzi though, so I never get any. But
Stick around long enough,
Kris.
they'll come.
Kris, for the record, it's important to mention that girls coming to our shows is not relevant to us. This is not why we do it.
Exactly.
We don't even.
If only boys come to shows, you'd take them for a drink after as well, wouldn't you?
I think that's what he's trying to say. Yeah, he'd rather see the blokes. So
Yeah.
the wrong kind of music.
That's the managing
play music.
Do try power metal. Do a power metal covers tribute band, and then you all the blokes.
Oh yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh shit! So I noticed 2023 has seen Chop Suey book heaps more shows, guys, and be a lot more active in general. So is that because you're putting more focus into the band, or is it more because there's more people out there starting to take notice of you?
A little bit of both, but most definitely because it's become more of a priority. I think up until last year, maybe, or up until 2 years ago, again, I work with a lot of bands and with Dragonforce and other bands and stuff. And I think Chop Suey, we were, up until last year, we were doing like 1 UK tour per year. That's about it, 10, 15 shows. I would find a space in the year in my diary. It's like, all right, I have a couple of months off. Let's do a tour, a Chop Suey tour. And things have changed. We want to go full on. We want to go for world domination. And again, we're all in. Everyone agrees. Everyone understands what it takes to step it up a notch, and that's what it is. It just became much more of a priority for us. And I can tell you right now, we're going to cross another ocean this year, and also this is just the beginning. Next year is going to be even more, and so on and so on. It's looking great. I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of what we're doing. But essentially, if you're going to see a lot more of Chop Suey, it's because we're a lot more serious about Chop Suey now.
Oh, I actually think it's important to point out here too, like people listening to this, they'll get the impression, and they're right, that this is a lot of fun for you guys, and you're loving every minute of it, but it's also a serious thing too. Like, you aren't just out there for the chicks, like Sam might be, but you're not just out there for that. You're actually taking it serious, and you want to make something of the band. It's not just all shits and giggles.
Absolutely. We want to see how big something like this can get. You know, let's see. I believe it can get pretty big. It's already starting to happen. I think people will always love System of a Down. They're not a band that plays live a lot at all, and I guess eventually they might even stop playing live, and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing because I think people want to enjoy their music anyway. And it's a fun night out. Again, it's a fun night out, but we do take it seriously, and we love doing what we do. So yeah.
Cool. And I think this is another important question to ask too. This one's for you, Martin. Like, you don't do all those crappy, elongated political speeches during the set, do you? Like Serge does. You just get on and play the music.
I wouldn't, I have to leave some of my political opinions to the side in terms of like things I'd like to say. But no, none of that. No. So literally just party. Everyone have a good time. And I'll let the songs speak for themselves.
Yeah, that's reason enough to go and see you guys over System of a Down any day. Because like, as much as I like that band, as much as I respect his stance on things, I really don't give a fuck. Like I want to go and watch the music, and I respect his views and I respect his countrymen and shit, but I really don't give a fuck. I'd rather hear you play for an hour and a half instead of talk for half an hour and play for an hour. It's simple as that.
Yeah. Maybe you could like do an even more long and boring speech than him, Martin, just for a laugh. Yeah. We're always saying how we're better.
If I can have the next slide, please. Well, the next slide. Just want to move on.
and then be like, come and meet us at the bar afterwards, and we'll bore you some more.
So I can actually.
I'm the business guy of the band, obviously.
I can see several reasons why, mate, but it's because you're better at being you, mate. And that's the real reason, Sam. So I've actually seen you guys firsthand when you toured Australia in February 2020, and I can attest to the fact that you do put on a great performance. You sound great. You do a shit hot job, but when are you coming back, mate? Like 2020 is like 3 years ago, so you've got to be coming back over this side soon. Those shows went pretty well, and there is a demand for it over here.
We had an amazing time over there in Australia and New Zealand. It was an absolutely great couple of weeks. The shows are really, really cool. Like, especially like first time going out there, seeing it so well attended and having such a good time. So we are really keen to come back. Nothing is set in stone just yet. I can tentatively say towards the end of this year or the beginning of 2024 next year, something may happen. Touch wood. But yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Oh. And you forgot to mention that you met me when you were out here in 2022. That's why it was such a good tour.
Oh yes, that was the crux of it all. Actually, that was just everything else was just built around that.
Yeah,
the gigs, then the partying, then the girls. Yeah. Kris is the epicenter.
Well, you've just guaranteed this one's going to get published now anyway, mate. Well done. So where can people find out more about Chop Suey and where you guys are playing?
So best place to go is Facebook. So if people look up Chop Suey #1 UK tribute to System of a Down, that's going to be on Facebook there. We're always updating our tour posters and footage and content from the tour and keeping people updated there. It's a pretty fun place to hang out. We do also have an Instagram as well, so people can find us on there too. But yeah, that's it really. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, that's the place you want to go and to keep updated with where we're going and what we're doing.
Right, and for those people who heard you say that name, like Chop Suey, UK's #1, blah, 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 you don't have to remember all that and type it in. I did it this morning, and if you just type in Chop Suey, it does come up. So that's all you have to remember.
Okay.
It doesn't come up with a plate of noodles, though, does it?
I'm hungry now.
It took half an hour, but you just broke him, Sam. Well done. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Like to add before you lock yourself into oblivion.
Thank you for the interview, Kris. That was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, dude.